Welcome back. Right, we'll get straight into it, folks. We really are pushed for time. We still want to show you the NTK, CPT, Kraaifontein and Hamlets, and we want to bring you some of our fixtures coming up this weekend. But let's quickly give you the results from Super League C this past weekend. A win for Violets over Lunga. It was a 36-10 win for Atlantis over Strand United. Rangers 30-26 in a derby match against Caledonian Roses. Benil Villages with a win over Busy Bees. Gardens went down to All Saints. Scottsdene with a win over Strand. And then Young Peoples with that 43-17 win over Yesterofir. Right, folks, we'll get straight into it. Let's take a look here at the match between NTK and CPT. There we go. Final result going in favor of NTK, 29 points to 24. Renzel, NTK will be happy with this result, knowing that they're under pressure on the log at the moment.
Yeah, just obviously I think they also looking to get into that top six. So good one for them. Obviously also last year played in the Super A, so they know what it is to play under pressure.
So you got a middle of the table match there against the bottom of the table log, Dylan, but you wouldn't think that way on TV.
No, there's a lot of talent. We're chatting now that it's a very young team. So if they can keep their little core group of players and stuff, they can build very, very nicely over the next couple of years.
Remember, folks, of course, the universities are back now from the USA tournament. So it's also going to make a bit of an impact on the log. Well, we'll see where that goes. Kraaifontein was up against Hamlets this past weekend. Let's take a look. Morgan Newman was, of course, behind the scenes at Kraaifontein. right, there we go. Final result going in favour of Kraaifontein. Renzel, Morgan Newman is not here today, but he'll be happy with that result.
Yeah, I think if he was here, he would have smiled anyway. So
Yeah.
it's a good one for them. I think Morg's doing something right there at Kraaifontein at the moment. Look, they were good last year, just unfortunately fell out of that semi-final, I think.
Yeah.
So I think they're looking good to go to that semi-finals again.
You want to throw your 10 cents in there, John?
Yeah, I definitely think Morgan's doing something special there with getting some of the players to stick around the community and around Kraaifontein.
Yeah.
Definitely creating something very special. Quite nice to see.
All right, let's take a look at your fixtures coming up in this weekend in Super League A. It's Brackenfell up against Unimil, St. George's and SK Warmers, Van der Stel, Helderberg, Durbel and False Bay. In Super League B, Kraaifontein take on Hamlets, CPUT against Vineyards. Hamlets travel to Primrose, Belleville travel to Collegians, Goodwood will be hosting Kylemore, and Hands and Hearts host Macassar. In Super League C, All Saints take on Peniel Villages, Atlantis and Strand, Lunga and Scottsdene. Violets will be in a derby match against Caledonian Roses. Young People's hosting Gardens, and Delft will be looking to climb the log more as they take on Eerste Rivier. All right, Renzel, I'm going to go to you there. In Super League A, is there anything that jumps out for you before we go to the barometer?
It would be Van der Stel, Helderberg.
Van der Stel, Helderberg. Yeah, Dylan, on your side?
Yeah, I would also say Van der Stel, Helderberg, and then you got Durbel, False Bay.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're both...
massive thing. False Bay of the north and Durbel of the south.
Yeah, there's a big one there, definitely. And Super League B, Renzel, what jumps out for you there?
There's actually two for me, which is the Kraaifontein Amadeus game and that Collegians Belleville game.
Collegians and Belleville?
Yeah, I think Belleville, they need a win to stay out of that relegation zone, so they need that.
Yeah. Okay, let's quickly take a look at the fixtures in the Paarl region. It's going to be Paarl Rangers and Young Standards, Simonium Riverstones, Drakensberg Young Gardens, Lower Paarl and Peril United. And in the promotion league, folks, Wraithby Universals take on Visanta Kraal. Watsonia take on Silurians. Blue Stars will be hosting Elsie Sophia and Masipumlele up against Morningstar. As you know, of course, every week we give you an opportunity to win yourself a case of Score Energy drinks. All you need to do is go to our Facebook page and tell us who the team is. Of course, congratulations to last week's winner, Nicholas January. Nicholas will be in touch with you on Facebook Messenger so you can come and collect your case of Score. But all right, folks, let's take a look at your Score competition then coming up for this week. Renzel Botman, would you like to give it a shot?
Sure, Chopes, it's a tough one when I have to give a clue here. But yeah.
It's a one-day game. We're going to have to get into it now.
Yeah. I just know there's a fear in the name.
There's a fear in there. Brilliant clues. Probably not. That must be your best.
That's my best.
Dylan, would you like to go?
I can't. I'm sorry, JB. I can't beat that clue. It's an incredible clue.
All right, folks. But big thanks to the guys for sending this in. If I tell you who it is, and you of course know who it is. But of course, go to our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV to enter that competition. In Super League A, in your barometer, it's Durbel against False Bay. Dylan, this one will be of deep interest to you. The odds are in favour of Durbel, 3-1. And of course, Durbel has home ground advantage. Durbel is winning 80% of their games at home. False Bay is winning 50% of their games when they play away. Would you like to back the barometer or not? In fact, folks, just not to be unfair here, we're going to ask Dylan not to make any comments here. Renzel, barometer, yes or no?
Sure. I'm going with the barometer this week.
I think he's looking a bit shell-struck here.
I just find it very interesting. It's lovely to see the stats and stuff that come up.
Well, St. George's are up against SK Warmers, and the odds there are 2-1, even with a fan factor in favour of St. George's. St. George's, unfortunately, have not had a great season. SK Warmers are winning 40% of the games away. Would you back the barometer?
Yeah, I would back the barometer there.
Back the barometer. Yes. All right, folks, big one this weekend is Collegians up against Belleville. We can't do all the barometers, but we're going to try. Collegians has got home ground advantage. They're winning 80% of their games when they play at home. Belleville are winning 20% of their games when they play away. And, of course, Collegians has got the fan factor in their advantage. It is 3-1 against Collegians. Renzel, unfortunately, there's always going to be one team that's not going to be on the positive side. But it looks to me that it's in favour of Collegians this weekend.
Definitely Collegians, but I think that fan factor should be 10 this week on
Yeah,
Collegians.
yeah. All right, Renzo, your plans for the weekend?
We got the rugby this weekend.
Yep.
Although the first team is off, second team, third team, and under 20s are playing this weekend, so it's rugby. Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. And you, Dylan, your plans for the weekend?
Massive derby up against Durban.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can prove this barometer wrong.
All right, folks, that's a wrap from us tonight. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.